Yeah.
You were writing and producing as
No,
well?
I was
Or just
directing.
Directing.
So for two or three, I think 4 seasons I was directing.
So when you were writing and, I guess, in even writing, directing, and acting your particular Adventure Bill skits, like how, I mean, that would have been easy because you wrote the script, so directing it is like you were already there.
Yep.
Now, the other segments that you write, how much direction do you leave in your writing, or do you just leave it to the director? You write the gag and then let the director kind of run with it. Did you have like a, I mean, obviously
Red Green's actually a bad example because Red walks out and says, "Hi, well, this week at the lodge we're building canoes out of, out of dinosaurs, and or dinosaurs out of canoes." And and then Harold comes in.
District Bites would have been a better one. Did you
No, see, I directed all those.
Directed all those two. See, now you're just too versatile.
Yeah, but the directing there was more often just picking a style and parodying it. So how was X-Files shot? And I'm not a trained director, right? And I'm not an auteur. So, but I have great crews. So we did one with Jerry Springer. It was a parody of Jerry Springer with Elizabeth and Queen Mary and Queen Elizabeth. And they played it like trailer trash. It's absolutely hilarious. My favorite episode. And we didn't have enough lights to build the entire Jerry Springer set or the set. So we built a wall, the set designer did, and then raised platform, and put a chair here with Jerry, and had some bleachers, and we lit this. The audience here, this is the rest of the empty studio bit, right? So we set up in the morning, and as soon as Teresa comes in as Queen Mary, we start, and Ron came in as Jerry. We shot their dialogue, all their lines, scene by scene, the two of them, and then when there was no Queen Elizabeth there, "You lying whore," she's saying to them. But we're getting closer. Then the two camera guys I said, "I want Springer," and they go, "We want that energy." Okay, give us a minute. Okay, we got you covered. So we shoot all, and then other actors arrive until eventually all the extras who were going to, all our friends who were sitting here in costume, and we shot all this way. We get all the scenes where the security guys hold them apart and so on, and then Jerry's thought at the end, and the rest, right, with the chop of the head in the middle of it, and he continues talking. We break for lunch. The set people come running in and grab all of they pull all the bleachers away. They move, the seats are facing this way. They bring this around. The cameras are still this way, right? They're ready to go. And they redress the backdrop a little bit. So it's now, well, it's the other half. And we're now, so over lunch, we basically, just by moving this stuff around, but it was kind of roughly the radios are up on ladders, and an hour and a half later, we're shooting again. Now, there's no other show in North America that's going to do that. People, but I had this crew of people who would do anything. It was miraculous what they pulled off.
As you were writing those things, or when you write other things too, do you give a lot of thought and consideration to what limitations?
Yeah, I think too much. In fact, I give way too much. So
would you recommend it as people who are like doing their own scripts? Like, do you say, okay, keep in mind, or just create, right? Produce your vision, and then deal with.
I think after. That's good. I think it's always good to create and be imaginative, because I never think I'm going to get $50 million, but you might. So it's worth going there if that's what it's about. If it can be said more simply, I'm in favor of saying it more simply. So there's when something is very small but has me in tears or has me rolling over laughing, Napoleon Dynamite. I started laughing when the credits started and the ketchup and everything. And I sat there, my daughter and I sat there, we giggled for an hour and a half straight. And more money would not have helped that, So the limitations are always good. That's the other thing is I think you want to be, if you're creative, you use the limitations to your advantage. Because if you have unlimited money, kind of can go anywhere, but when it's like, we want you to do a series on battleships, as we were talking about that earlier, we're giving you some model battleships, and that's it. Okay, now you're going to have to be creative. If I give you $1 billion to CGI it and actually recreate them, there's not a lot. Now, how could we do that, right? How could we do a series on battleships with a bunch of small models. Now the game gets interesting. Now it's fun to play. So in the limitations, and then this is the joy of writing, is you suddenly throw in, left turn. The Coen brothers are so good at that. It just, it's the No Country for Old Men. At the very end, you're sitting there going, he killed her. Oh, God, he killed her. Bang, and his car's hit. It's like, and he walks off, and they were just left so discombobulated at the end of that movie, which is exactly what just happened. And he should have survived. A million other questions come up, and it was, I don't know. There's at some point there is genius, and then there's the flip side of it is the practicality. And when you're producing, directing, and even writing, it's the ability to jump between those two, left brain, right brain, left brain, right brain, and allow the whichever is the creative half, free reign when it needs it, and then be able to then, from everything you've thrown out, pull out what it is you're really trying to say. That's why journaling and diaries are so good, because you get a bunch of stuff out, and you look a month later and you go, that was all bullshit, wasn't it? My God, I'm a drama queen. Whatever,
Okay, we're just about out of time, so let's try to, if somebody has one last question for Rick, that we'll try to run off with something about the creative process, the writing process, the pitch process, the food process.
The sort of pitch package, do you have a process for that? You said it took you about a week. Do you start with just...
That was just for that one document for the thing. So, but in the pitch process, you're going to have a one or two pager that you're going to hand in that hopefully they get the idea of it. Then you're going to have something longer that's going to lay out in 4 or 5 pages what the show is, why it's different, why it's not too different, why it's better than Sex and the City, and why it's, and all of the, you're also probably going to include some of the spin-offs and what we can do on the website, because they're looking for that. Then you're going to have a list of 13 episodes, or however many you think. If it's a 6-part series, your 6 episodes, what you think they'll be. If it's, so with that Machinosaurus, we had 18 different ideas. Or unloader, and so on and so on. It may still sell, but that was that later. We then had a really good run-through of how each episode opens. First is the teaser. We see a machine. We don't know what it is, but it's large, it's ominous, and it's noisy. A voiceover explains that this machine once ruled the Great Lakes, and now it's gone. This machine was taller than an apartment building, heavier than most of the ships in the Navy. These machines rolled up and these things, and what are we seeing? And then in a short time they were obsolete, gone, and now there's only 2 are left. In the test. I'm interested. What is it? And then so that was. We explained how we're going to hook, what we're going to cover in each of the things. We're going to give you the backstory of why this was important, how it actually worked, and then what replaced it, and so on. So there was a real layout of how each episode